So this is the height of it all. The Operation Dudula team went to primary school and they are harassing pupils. This is the height of it all. When they started, they have a lot of groups in South Africa. They say they are fighting for the jobless people, or maybe they are fighting against illegal foreigners. They started with illegal foreigners rhetoric. They started with foreigners that are undocumented, illegal foreigners that are committing crimes, and now the whole thing has, spilled into every black African in South Africa. Whether you are legal or illegal, they don't just want you. In 2026, we have Africans. In another African, we talk of Europe. You have Schengen visa. If you have Schengen visa, you are traveling to Spain. Without Schengen visa, you can travel to any other Schengen countries. 28 of them or more than that. But in our own Africa, we want development, we want unity, we want growth, we want production. South Africans said every other black Africa. This rhetoric, this protest is only against black Africans, fellow black Africans. They have no power over the whites, over the Asians, and just their fellow black African. It's a disgrace. Now, this is not even against adults. They are going against harassing children, exposing these children to trauma. How will a sensible person, they call the same operation to do like match by match or whatever, look at how they are harassing little children? And the worst of it all is that the president is yet to make a specific statement addressing this. Tell me how it is fair. The lady that is in charge of match by match, Shinta Zuma, has been invited by the police for staging violence against foreigners, but nothing tangible is done or achieved from that yet. How do you go to primary school to harass children? How is that fair? How is that even sensible? How is the government of South Africa operating and let people go to primary school and harass children? So there is no other way you will tackle illegal undocumented foreigners. Now, make no mistake, these guys who are parading themselves as as a team or unit that is fighting against illegal foreigners, they don't even have the right. South Africa have those in border security, have those in immigration, who are mandated by the government, who are elected officials, appointed staffs to do this job. You will see somebody who did not even complete secondary school, somebody who is not educated, and you are asking for legal document. The legally residing black African in South Africa will bring out the document. You can't even read it. I've watched quite a whole lot of clips, and the only thing I could do is just to marvel. Is becoming worrisome. And then, come to think of it, let's say for Nigeria, we have a lot of South Africans that are working in MTN. We have a lot of strong South African companies in Nigeria. Now, they are no longer talking about legally residing black Africans in South Africa. They just want every black South African to go. MTN is the biggest telecommunication network in Africa, and they have their branch in Nigeria. What about DSTV? And these South African companies are headed by South Africans, and most of their staff are South Africans. So, and they are living their life, thriving, doing well. Nobody's disturbing them. How will you wake up now? I have said it before. This will never fix unemployment. This will never fix joblessness. These foreigners bought this building. In fact, I saw one day a complaint that the Ethiopians bought like your fellow black African used his money, erect a structure, built a structure. You didn't give it to him free. He bought it, he developed it, he's doing business legally, has all documents. You say you want to inherit the building. What kind of madness is that? You want to inherit building? You are not even, in fact, at some point I was like, why can't they just suggest, let's buy off your building, just go? They don't want to buy it. They just want to take it for free. Do you know that until you have, except you have business acumen, even though you inherit all these buildings, all black South Africans, you can't still do. I was watching someone the other time. The person said, okay, how much has these guys achieved since a victory over apartheid? How much have they achieved? I said it before that yes, they are improving and they are making progress. 70% of the lands in South Africa are still owned by whites. So I don't understand why these fellows are rising everywhere, disturbing foreigners. And I was getting a lot of news this past week how that black black Africans that are not South Africans are now getting killed. They are killing them. What kind of thing is that? I've met South Africans all over the world. There are a lot of South Africans in US, in UK, in Dubai, in all these countries. In Nigeria here, there are a lot of South Africans here. No one is disturbing them. They are even citizens over there. So what is so special about South Africa than other countries? What is so special? And then these guys who know nothing about history, who are terrible students of history, fair students of history, didn't know how much role that these other African countries played during apartheid. I keep saying it. Nigeria played a huge role. Students protested against the apartheid. Some of them sacrificed a whole lot to ensure that the blacks were free during the apartheid. Ghana and many of them. In fact, I watched a video of one Ghanaian that was harassed. The guy is legal, doing his business, and they say, go back to your country. Go. What kind of rhetoric is that? The worst of to make it worse, the government is not specifically addressing this madness. And if the government continue to let them, make a mockery of the system, make a mockery of South, because the whole world is watching. How that you are now going to secondary school, primary school to harass pupils, telling them, I don't even know what they are doing. I don't even know what the agenda is. So you want them to get out of, primary schools. Primary school is for South Africans. In fact, I have learned that there are a lot of schools now that are built by foreigners, Ethiopians, Nigerians. I learned that there's a school that was built by Nigerians. Maybe they want to go and inherit the school too. These foreigners are actually gradually building their own system. You don't want them to drive. It's a disgrace. This is a disgrace of the highest order. And if the South African government did not specifically address this madness, they might think that it's just helping, they are just doing something great. Very soon, the monster this government is allowing them to create might come back to haunt them. This is just the truth.